What's up, guys? This is Hayden with Crypto Gaming. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest play-to-earn game out there, Axie Infinity. We're going to talk about how much does it cost to play, how much can you earn playing it, how long is it going to take to get your money back, and is it actually worth playing right now? So let's get right into it. All right, guys, before we start, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you like the content. Before we start, I'm going to have a short message that hopefully will lift up your day. Just because with everything that's going on in the world with COVID and anything else that's happening, I want to be able to bring some light and joy into your guys' life. So this is from the Bible. If you don't believe in God or anything, that's perfectly fine, but I hope that you can find something from this message. So this is actually in the Book of Mormon in either chapter 12, verse 4, and it says, "Wherefore, whoso believeth in God might with surety hope for a better world, yea, even a place at the right hand of God, which hope cometh of faith, maketh an anchor to the souls of men, which would make them sure and steadfast, always abounding in good works, being led to glorify God." I love that scripture so much because it is true. When we have a hope in God, there's something to look forward to. I know that if there wasn't that higher being in my life, that it would be really hard to get through the hard times, that it'd be hard to find what's after, like why am I going through certain things in my life. So I love that scripture so much, and I hope you enjoyed. Back to the main content, Axie Infinity. If you haven't heard of it already, look it up. I'm sure you've heard of it, so let's get right into it. Right here you can see on the screen we have Axie Infinity wages. And so just to preface this, this is going to assume a couple things of how you can get into the game and some things of why these calculations work and such. So this assumes that you spend all your energy on the arena. So let's say you have 20 energy, you spend all 20 on the arena first, and you have a 50% win rate, and you get the 50 SLP from the adventure mode every day, and you get the 25 SLP for completing the daily challenges. So that's like the prerequisites to how this math works out. So I guess I'll quickly go over how much does it cost to actually get a team. Let's go over to this page. If we're looking at if you just want 20 energy, and we'll get into that later, but just to start the team, you need 3 Axies. And so I think pretty reasonable price is 0.3 Ethereum to start your team. So average of 0.1 per Axie, and you need 3, so 0.3 Ethereum. And I think that's probably a good starting point. So that's how much it'll cost if you just right up front, that's probably what you'll need to actually get started on the game. With the way that Season 18 of the arena has actually worked out, it's really leaning toward you want to be really good at the arena so you can make the most SLP in the game. So the math that's here is going to focus on the arena a lot because that's where I feel that most players can make the most out of their play-to-earn experience in Axie Infinity, at least for this season. So let's break it down right here. You have the 9 SLP bracket, and I'm starting from 9 SLP. There are some lower brackets, but I think that I don't think the game is even worth playing if you're not at least at here. And we'll talk about the final breakdown, the final review at the end. But we have the 9 SLP bracket, 12 SLP, 15 SLP, 18, and 21. And the MMR is 1300 to 1499 on the 9, 1500 to 1799, 1800 to 1999, 2000 to 2199, and then finally the last bracket, 21 SLP, is 2200 and up. Now I broke down at 20 energy, 40 energy, and 60 energy. So if you didn't know, as soon as you have your team of Axies 3, you start off every day, you get 20 energy that you can use. But if you didn't know, if you have 10 to 19 Axies in your account, you actually have 40 energy. And if you have 20 plus Axies, then you get 60 energy. So I thought, okay, well, you have more energy so you can make more money. So let's figure out the math and what would be the ideal way to do this. How much can I actually make playing the game? Now remember, none of this is financial advice. Please don't sue me. Do your own due diligence, do your own research, do all that good stuff, and you can come to a conclusion yourself. Looking at it very briefly, I'll just go over how much you can make a year on all of them. So 9 SLP at 20, 40, 60, 7,000 roughly to 11,000 to 15,000. A year 12, 8,500 to almost 14,000 to 19,000. Then almost 10,000 to 16,500 to 23,000. 18 SLP about $11,000 to $19,000 to $27,000. And then 21 SOP. Actually, when I made this document, I actually did the math for 20 SOP. So then I realized that the SOP bracket was 21 because they recently changed it maybe a couple weeks ago. So these numbers are a little lower than what they should be. So this math is actually for 20 SOP, not 21. But even still, it looks pretty good. So 12,500 a year at 20 energy, 20,800 at 40 energy, and almost 30,000 a year at 60 energy. And this is all assuming that SOP is at 12 cents. If you want to take a look right now, SOP has been on the downtrend lately with everything that's been happening in the market. It's actually at 8 cents. But the reason why I took 12 cents is because it looks like the medium price, like the average price. Just looking back, I think 12 cents is a pretty good average price. So that's why I put it there. I think out of all of these, really, if you don't want to put too much time into it, I think 9 SOP and the 12 SOP are pretty good. That's not bad. You know, if you're making an extra $8,000 a year, an extra $7,000 a year, that is not bad by any means, in my opinion. I would definitely take that. And that's just with 20 energy. So you don't have to buy anything more than just the 3 Axies. But where I see the bigger value coming in is really at the 18 and the 21 SOP brackets, where you have 11,200 a year and 12,500 a year. Now that's pretty good. And that's with just the 20 energy. So I think the energy, how much you want on the energy is how much time you want to put into the game. Because once you have 60 energy, you're going to be spending several hours playing the game. And so if you have a full-time job, part-time job, you might not want to have 60 energy because you don't have enough time to put toward it. So even with that 20 energy, 11,200 and 12,500 looks pretty good to me. And of course, if you don't live in the United States, you can convert this to whatever your national currency is, so you can get an accurate look there. Let's go over to how much it would cost for the 40 energy and the 60 energy. We already went over how much it is just to start. The 40 energy, what I did is that, so you have the 3 playable Axies at 0.3 Ethereum, and then you have the floor Axies. I'm just saying that the floor Axies being, you're not going to use them to play. All you need is your team, and then all you're doing is buying floor Axies for the cheapest price possible, just so you can get the extra energy. And when I made this document, the floor was 0.055. If we actually go over to the marketplace right now, it's about 0.046, and you can probably pick up, it's around that range, 0.046, 0.047. So you could pick up a bunch of them right now, as of the time of recording, for under 0.055. So it would actually be a little cheaper than what I have on here. But the math comes out to 0.685 at the floor price being right here. It's not too terrible, but if you have the money, definitely not a bad investment in my opinion. 60 energy, you need to have 20 plus Axies, so 17 floor Axies in the play team, so it comes out to 1.235 Ethereum. So that's definitely a little more, but if you have that money to invest into it, I think it's definitely worth it, especially if you're going for the 18 SOP bracket. That's an extra $27,000 a year. And then with the 21, that's almost $30,000, and actually be more than that, well, for the 21. But also take a look at this. So all of that math is assuming that SOP is at 12 cents, but there were times where it actually went up. So the highest it ever, okay, well, over here is a little higher, back in April, but the recent spike, it came to, let's say, 40 cents. So let's say over the course of a year, or however much that you have up, you're just saving your SOP, right? Let's say you don't need it month to month, and you can save some of your SOP or all of it, and you wait for the next 20 cent SOP or 25 cent, whatever. So if we actually look over here, I have a Desmos document that I did all the math in. So right here, this is actually for 60 energy. Assuming the 50% win rate, you would win 30 matches. Down here, we have C equals all the other math I did, 365 days, so you play every single day, which, probably wouldn't play every day, but, that's just the math I did. But let's say there's another 40 cent SOP. Now that's like the upper threshold, but let's say that happens and you're just waiting to sell. Okay, so that's over $100,000 right there. That's crazy. that you could, over the course of a year, if you're doing a part-time job, especially, that's what I think would be the best idea. Have a part-time job so you still have that income, and then you're playing the game when you get home or whenever you have free time. You get all those matches in, you have that 50% win rate, and you're going for the top, you're really trying hard. You could make upwards of $100,000 a year just on the arena. That's crazy. And that's just with a 50% win rate. So if I go back up here, we could even mess around with this a little bit. So 36 wins a day would be a 60% win rate. Okay, so let's see the math now at a 60% win rate at a 40 cent SOP. So we're actually looking at $121,000 a year. That is, in my opinion, that I would love that. So pretty much in conclusion, with the value that you get off of this, I think the best value is to have 60 energy, or you just start with 20 energy and then you work your way up. As you're getting SLP, you can sell it and then buy more Axies off the marketplace and then work your way up to 60 energy. And really, you could quit your full-time job off of this if you really wanted to, because the potential is there. If you're really going to play Axie Infinity, I think the best value is to, hit the grind, really practice, review your replays, do research, go all in on it, because that's where the most value comes into. But if you don't have enough time, the 9 SLP bracket, 12 SLP bracket, even just at 20 energy, that's an extra $8,000, $10,000, $7,000 a year. That's pretty good. And the last part, this is just how long it'll take to pay off your initial investment. I'll have a link to all these documents, so if you want to go back through, and maybe I'll have a link for the Desmos so you can mess with it, put in your own numbers or whatever it is. Just to start off, at the 9 SLP bracket, about a month and a half, pretty much everything across the board isn't going to take anything over 3 months or so. Really, once you get into the higher brackets, which I would suggest you shoot for, nothing's going to be over 3 months. And it's actually pretty crazy. So this should actually be 21, but at the time I thought it was 20. It's a whole month. You could get your money back in a month if you really go for it. So that's pretty much it. Again, overall, I think right now is the time to get into Axie Infinity. Even if you wanted to, just buy SLP and hold it. I mean, it's at 8 cents right now. Pretty crazy. It hasn't been this low since, May. Okay? So that's crazy. I think the time to get in is right now. There's so much potential ahead. Axie Infinity still hasn't released their land gameplay, and there's so many other things that they're adding to the game that they just haven't, isn't the right time yet. So there's still so much potential for growth, and you'd be in so early. I think the best thing to do now is just accumulate that SLP, have some skin in the game, and the worst thing that could happen is that if you don't play very often, you get your money back in a month and a half. Hey guys, this is Hayden from the future. I realize that when talking about the return on investment, at any point during this time, if you don't like the game or you want your money back right away, you can just resell your Axies. As soon as you buy them, it's not like they're held hostage or anything and your money is held hostage. You can just put them right back on the market for what you paid for them, and you can have your money back as soon as someone buys them. Like I was saying before, you can get your money back in 2-3 months, or you can just sell your Axies back right away. So that too. So that's all I had to say. Continue on with the video. I'd say definitely get in now. It's still worth playing. Even if you don't have all the time in the world, you can definitely go for it. But the most value is going to come if you really grind it out. You really want to shoot for the top. And none of this is even including if you go really hard and you get into tournaments and things like that. This is all just from the arena. So there's still so much more that you can earn off this if you're going all in. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the message. If you liked it, subscribe, hit that like button, and make sure to turn on notifications so that you see all of our videos. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.